Hello, my love, and welcome to day 21 of the 21-day Expansion Accelerator experience. It's so crazy to say that out loud. And if you're anything like me, then you're probably feeling all of the feels. I have had such an incredible time. This has been such a soul filling journey. Thank you so much for saying yes to this. Thank you so much for saying yes to yourself and for giving me the privilege of showing up for you and getting to walk alongside you for the last 21 plus days. I really hope that as you look back and reflect on this journey, that you can see the shifts and transformation, and you are feeling so empowered knowing that you get to come back to these tools and these super simple action steps and these practices and these rituals and these resources forevermore. Also, if you are feeling like me and you're like, I do not want this journey to end just yet, I'm not ready to say goodbye, and you're not currently inside of Energy Expansion Academy or one of my other one-on-one coaching programs, then I would invite you to reach out. If you don't know what the next steps are for us together and you're curious about that, message me right away and we can chat about what that looks like. So without further ado, I want to dive into something really powerful today. And we're going to look at it from an angle that might be different than how you've ever looked at this. And so we are going to be talking about the transformational practice of celebration. Celebration. It sounds so simple, and it really is, which is a beautiful thing. I want you to notice what you think about when you hear the word celebration. So, as heart centered women and leaders, we often move from one goal to the next without actually pausing to honor our progress. I know that this is something that I've been working on. This has been a journey for me. I consider myself highly driven and highly ambitious. And I love that about myself. And if I'm being completely honest, I feel like some of those aspects of who I am and the way I move through the world could be rooted in a little bit of a trauma response, needing to prove my worth or having my identity be wrapped up in all that I'm doing, which is not the healthiest thing, but I share that with you because you might be able to relate to that. And so, when you are heart-centered and highly driven and impact matters to you, you typically set really big goals and you give all of yourself to the things that matter and what you're working on. And sometimes we can get in a pattern of bulldozing through, right? Like we reach the goal and there's a little bit of like, yay, and then we keep going. So again, this is something that I feel like I've gotten better at over the years, but I am personally still working on this. And so I want to talk to you actually about the science behind celebration and why it isn't just a nice idea or something fun, but it is actually a mindset, energy, and somatic, like in your body, somatic hack for lasting success, motivation, and fulfillment. So I want to dive into the science of this. There's a technique, a practice known as savoring. And there's actually quite a bit of research that has gone into this. Harvard research actually shows that reflecting on achievements activates your brain's reward centers, and it therefore releases dopamine, which is the same chemical triggered by actually achieving the goal. So there's something known as the 2-for-1 effect. When you take the time to pause and really acknowledge yourself, recognize yourself, and celebrate, it gives you that chemical dopamine hit twice. Not only when you hit the goal, but when you take the time to reflect on it. And then what happens inside of your body is your body remembers that and it holds on to that. And your ability to create experiences like that increases exponentially. So there's that really beautiful side of it. Now, the flip side of the coin is celebration is a really powerful way to prevent the experience of burnout. There's another set of studies that shows that lack of recognition, AKA lack of pausing to celebrate yourself and your accomplishments, is one of the number one contributing factors to burnout. And there's different things that can lead to burnout. Let me know if you've ever experienced a version of that. I know that I have personally, just being totally transparent. But one of the core underlying factors of burnout is stress. And so pausing to really celebrate every win, no matter how big or small, is a way to help deter the burnout and the stress. And that's also really good for your health, because what we know is one of the number one factors of disease, dis-ease in the body, is stress. And so celebrating is actually good for your health. And the last thing is, it creates what's known as a confidence loop. And I have to talk about this because so many of you are here to improve your confidence, which has everything to do with the way that you relate to yourself, which is so much of what we were focused on this journey. And so this positive feedback loop looks like you reach the goal, or you have the achievement, or there's a little win throughout your day. Again, this is not just for big things. This is for even the seemingly smallest things. So you achieve that thing, you check it off your list. If you have a to-do list, or like me, then you don't have a to-do list, you have a to-da list, because to-da is just way more fun than to do. And you check off that box and you feel like, yeah, I did the thing. That actually increases your confidence. And then when you take a moment to celebrate that, it creates motivation to do more of that. So there are so many incredible benefits that come with celebration. So now let's talk about how I want you to implement this today. Number one, I would love for you I'm going to give you 3 different things that I want you to do. You can do one of them, you can do 2 of them, or you can do all of them. Number 1 is, I want you to just make a list of things you'd like to celebrate yourself for. And these can be, again, teeny tiny, which if they're teeny tiny, if you think they're teeny tiny, they're actually probably not. They're probably really big and deeply meaningful, but they can be seemingly small. They can also be really, really, really big. And these can be things that you're celebrating from this journey, from our 21 days together, directly related to how you've shown up for yourself. Maybe that's one of your wins. You've shown up the best that you could. Maybe you didn't even get to do every single day, but you did your best. That is absolutely worthy of celebration. Maybe you use this to reflect on this year and you make a list of the things that you're celebrating from this year. Maybe you're like me and you've been in business for a really long time. I've been in business now for over a decade. Closing out this year will be 12 years in business. And so if you're like me, maybe you want to reflect on a season of your life. So for me, if I was going to reflect on my wins as a business owner, then I would really be looking back at the last 12 years. So I want you to make a list of celebrations. I really would love for you to journal these. There's something really powerful about putting pen to paper. There's an impact that has both in our brain and in our body when we're writing these things down. So there's that, number 1. Number 2 is, there's so much power in celebrating other people. And so who is someone in your life? Maybe it is a loved one, maybe it's a business bestie, maybe it's a mentor, maybe it's someone you follow on the internet. Who is someone you would love to celebrate? And I want you to send that person a message, just a loving message of who you see them to be and or how they've impacted your life. Or maybe someone you love just reached a big goal of their own and you want to acknowledge that. Okay, so that's number 2, is acknowledging and celebrating someone else. But I want you to celebrate yourself first. And then the third one is, there's something really powerful about having a personal celebration ritual. And this can be something as simple as doing a happy dance. I'm a big fan of the happy dance. Like right now, I'm shaking my booty, I'm snapping my fingers. So maybe it is a happy dance. Maybe it's jumping up and down. Maybe it is a woo-hoo. Oh my gosh, I'm thinking back to my corporate life. It's going to get loud for just a second here. But my boss for a really long time, who I consider to be one of my greatest mentors, when you would walk into the office every morning, every single morning, everybody would get up and start cheering. And my mentor had this famous thing. He'd go, oh, like this, like celebratory howl. Can you imagine every day celebrating just walking in through the door? So maybe it's something like that, clapping for yourself, jumping up and down, a woohoo. It might be a song. Oh my gosh, music is such a powerful way to root in an experience. I don't know if you guys know that song, Montel Jordan's "This Is How We Do It." That's the first and last time I'll probably ever sing to you, but that is one of my celebration songs. It has been forever, so much so that one of the women inside of Energy Expansion Academy a few years ago hired Montel Jordan to do a cameo. And he sang that song to us. And he talked about Dani Kenney and the women that she attracts into the world. That's how powerful that is. Me getting so pumped up about that song and using that as a way to celebrate and acknowledge actually went on to be this big part of my brand. And the person who sang that song uttered Dani Kenney from his mouth, which is so cool. So that is it for today, my friends. I love you so much. In closing, you have come so far on this journey, and I really want us to close out this experience by you taking a moment to pause. First and foremost, celebrate you. If you choose, celebrating someone else. And third, if you don't already have some sort of fun, simple, meaningful celebration ritual, I want you to choose that for yourself. I am so honored to have been on this journey with you, and I'll see you around. Oh my goodness. Energy Expansion Pod Squad. We did it. We freaking did it. Here we are wrapping up day 21 of the 21-day Expansion Accelerator. And I feel like my heart is exploding. I'm feeling emotion bubbling up. Tears want to come out of my eyes, tears of joy and gratitude and appreciation. You know, at the very beginning of this journey, I shared with you that I had been getting the intuitive nudge to take the Expansion Accelerator, a paid coaching course, and share it on the podcast. And I really trust the timing. I think I chose the exact right time. And I'm sharing this with you because what a beautiful lesson in listening to your intuition. My best ideas, personally and professionally, the moves that I make, the actions that I take are the ones that sort of drop in out of seemingly nowhere, where it's things I've never seen other people do before or things that no one outside of me could tell me to do. Listening to that voice inside of me is always 100% of the time the best choice. I wanted to invite you into that today, especially if you're listening to this in real time as these episodes are being released. We are getting ready to wrap up 1 year and step into another one. How can you let your intuition lead even a little bit more? What are those intuitive nudges? What are you being called to let go of? What are you being called to step into? What is your soul inviting you to create in the year ahead? Listen to that. Take action on that. And what I know to be true is, as strong as my intuition is, as much as I am grateful when I listen to my intuition, I am also very intentionally surrounded by some of the most incredible coaches, mentors, healers, and communities. And I put myself in those spaces because when I do, there is a version of myself that I get to meet that I really don't think I'd meet otherwise. I put myself in rooms where I know that I'm going to be stretched. I know that the only option is to elevate and expand. And I want to invite you into that for yourself. Right now, inside of DKC, Dani Kenney Coaching, there are so many incredible ways to work together to create magic as we're stepping into this brand new year. From my signature group coaching program, Energy Expansion Academy, that's where I spend a bulk of my time with my clients, and it is hands down one of my favorite things I've ever created. We meet every single Monday morning for a live coaching Q&A. We're on Zoom together 3 times a month. We have an open coaching session. We have an energy and mindset alignment session. We have our live podcast recording every month. The community is truly extraordinary. Most of those women also have one-on-one coaching. So it's a beautiful hybrid where you get a blend of one-on-one as well as group coaching. Not too long ago, I turned Energy Expansion Academy, the actual course, the content, the frameworks, the audio activations, into a self-paced program as well. So that's an option. We've got the group version of it, which is live, where we're meeting multiple times a month. So many opportunities for community, connection, support in real time. The women in there are constantly taking big, bold, aligned actions. When you're in a community like that, there is no reason to be stuck. There's no reason to stay stuck when you've got me and an entire community of women in your corner, by your side, moving and working and leading and creating magic right alongside you. There's also the self-paced program. And I've got some really incredible one-on-one coaching opportunities as well. And so if you're feeling the nudge to not do 2026 alone, and let me recommend, or I should say I 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10 recommend not doing it alone. I just made a massive investment in myself, in my business. I'm putting myself in a room virtually and in real life that feels bigger than anything I've done in a really long time. And I'm so freaking pumped about this. I want to invite you into that experience for yourself. And so I'll pop the links to Energy Expansion Academy as well as the self-paced version of that. But the invitation is for you to open up Instagram, head over to my Instagram account and message me 2026. When you message me 2026, I will know that you are one of our beloved, highly valued, and so deeply appreciated Pod Squad listeners. And we can go ahead and start a conversation about what it would look like for you to join me, to join my people, to have me come alongside you in your life and your business in 2026. There are few things that would bring me more joy. So feel free to click around in the links in the show notes. You can also message me privately 2026. And from there, you and I can connect one-to-one. And I would love to help you craft the most aligned next steps to support you in creating what it is that you want most right now and in the new year ahead. I cannot wait to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey.